Hey YouTube family, it's another episode of 50 and Single, and I am your hostess, Jernigan 6. I'd like to get right into the video by first of all thanking everyone who was generous and kind enough to actually respond to the first video. Excuse me, I learned a lot, not only about you all, but I learned a lot about myself because I could really identify with some of your responses. You know, some of you all are not middle aged. You did respond, and I appreciate that. Some of you all have been married before and are single now. Some of you are married. Some of you have never been married. I've never been married. So for all of you who responded to the first video, thank you so much. And I'm actually going to give you a shout out right now, okay? Because I do have your comments on the screen behind this camera. Okay, so Sharita Trimble, thank you so much, sis, for responding. I really appreciate the fact that you opened up so much, and you brought up a good point that it's okay to say no. Yeah, you have to learn to love yourself and say no. Sometimes, we have a problem doing that. We say yes to everyone else, and when yes to everyone else means no to us. Sometimes you have to say no to other folks in order to say yes to yourself. So thank you so much, Sharita. That was a great point you made. Angela Elaine. Wow. When I read your response, I had to thank you for your honesty and your openness. Not very many of us will admit that we made poor choices in men. Yeah, and honestly, I have too. I think I told you that. Yeah, I have. Yeah. And self-esteem. Oh my God, self-esteem has so much to do with the choices that we make in the people that we choose to have around us, and that includes a mate. Angela, thank you for that comment. It was really, really touching, and it made me just kind of like just sit back and really humble myself even more. Lots of love. Yeah. Thank you also, sis. You've been married for 19 years, but you were single by choice, and you loved it. And when the time came for you to have a mate, it was something that was actually a blessing to you. Sounds like it was really a blessing. Yeah, we did have the two dogs in common at the time. So yeah, I thank you for your comment. It was really really awesome. And actually, I like the fact that you made yourself happy while you were being single. The loneliness, you experienced that, but then you got you two dogs that were like your family, somewhat to say. They were like your companions. They were like, they loved you. They showed you unconditional love. And sometimes our pets are the example, and I hate to say it like that, of the unconditional love that we deserve. Okay, so thank you again, Locks of Love. And then we had Nev Jam Gal. Nev Jam Gal. You're single by circumstance. First by circumstance, and then by choice. You'd love to be in a relationship, but, oh, I love this. You said that being content and by yourself sits better than being in company and being unhappy. Oh my God, sis, you said a mouthful right there. Yes, that means a lot. And I agree with you. I would rather be by myself and happy than to be with someone who makes me miserable, or someone I'm not compatible with. And I can relate to that. I really can. I had an ex-boyfriend who nagged. Can you believe that? A man that nags? Oh my God. That was misery. Okay, Priestess Aset Ra Amen. Okay, you're single by choice. The reality poor choice in men and emotionally high maintenance with unresolved issues. And yes, men come with baggage just like we do. Yep. Sometimes we're so busy trying to make sure we don't exhibit the fact that we have baggage, but the fact is, everybody has baggage and everybody's going to bring baggage into a relationship. It's just, have you learned how to deal with your baggage? Have you resolved your own issues? And like you said, when some people don't resolve their issues and they bring it to you, that's not a good mix. That's to me looking for a parent or yeah, just a parental figure and rather than a mate. And that makes that's a little bit too much pressure for anybody. So thank you so much for your comment. I appreciate you. Then we have Sacred Lady. Okay. Yeah, honey, I know just by your videos, we've been friends on I'm sorry, not Facebook, on YouTube for a while now, following each other's lock journey, and I can feel your spirituality through every video that you've made. And I totally understand too, sis. You have to be equally yoked, in order for your relationship to survive, to thrive and survive. And there is nothing more beautiful than having a spiritual connection and the same spiritual goal and beliefs. That's like purpose. That gives the relationship so much purpose. Yeah, I like that. Thank you, sis. Okay, Sexy with Locks. You're single, but you would love to be married, and you're old fashioned, and you want the guy to find you. You know, I feel you. I feel you. I used to be that way to a fault. Yeah, I'm old fashioned too, and I'm not one to go up to a guy and say, hey, here's my number. I just want to share my number, blah blah blah, whatever. Excuse me. I've never been good at making first moves or anything like that. What I do like to be, I think, and I think every woman likes to be noticed by a man. I think, you want to feel those butterflies. I like to feel that too. You want to feel wanted. You want to feel desired. I totally get it. I totally get it. So, yeah, yeah. And there's not a lot of old school gentlemen like that I've run into lately. And unfortunately, a lot of the guys our age are in menopause. I actually had an arrangement. This guy was not married, so when I say arrangement, don't think I mean arrangement like that. But a friend that I knew from school, we knew each other since we were 14 years old, and we had gotten into an intimate relationship. But yeah, I thought everything was cool, until like he started bringing his nephew. When he would bring his nephew around, he all of a sudden become a 20-year-old. When he bring his son around, all of a sudden he became a 20-year-old. And I think he was really trying to impress these youngsters. with his behavior and you know, he ended up being having quite a few women. Well, I'm not gonna say quite a few women, but I know I wasn't the only one, so I made myself kind of scarce. Anyway, that man just got married about maybe 6 months ago, I'll say. And he, instead of telling me that he was getting married, you know what he did? Changed his number, changed his cell phone number. But, we have a lot of mutual friends. So one of my friends told me, well, Janet, he got married and he moved his wife into the house with him and his mom. So I'm like, cool, I am not one to hate on anybody finding happiness and love. But, yeah, I feel like, the 20-year-old syndrome that I saw in him, when he started acting like that, it really was a turnoff, a big turnoff. So yes, sis, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be so long-winded about that, but yeah. But love, sister. Yes, I remember you. Yes. Yeah. You've been doing a lot lately. Not a lot, but I mean, not in a bad way. You've grown. You've matured. You've lived some life. You've experienced some things. You've experienced a lot of womanhood based on what you told me in your comment. And I think it's really awesome because experience is a good teacher. So yeah, I'm really hope that your life is as happy as you would like it to be. I hope you find all the joy that you deserve. And yeah, I hear you. Take some time. Take some time. Okay, so those were all the people that responded to my video. You guys, like I said, you guys rock. Thank you so much. Now, I'm going to tell you how I spent my week and my weekend, and then I'm going to just share a little bit more. I don't want the videos to be too long, but yeah. And what I would like for you guys to do, sometimes read each other's comments and just, if you guys felt the way I felt when I read them, then it should spark discussion and conversation. Okay, so this week, of course, well, last week, because today is Monday the 5th. Last week, of course, I spent my week working, and I worked long hours, so that's okay. I have to make a living because I have to work, right? So yeah. Also, over the weekend, I did go see a movie. I went to see Pirates of the Caribbean. It was really good, you guys. If you like those type of movies, go see that. I really enjoyed it, and I went by myself. Then that was Saturday. Sunday, my nephew comes over on Sundays and he helps me out with my yard and stuff. So then he'll go run errands with me. So went to do a little retail therapy. Went to Target and found some really cool products that I'll be probably doing a review on my when I do a hair video. And then I went to see my son and my daughter-in-law and the grandkids. And my son is an artist, and I wanted to go see his latest creations. And oh my God, you guys, I'm going to post one of his latest painting on my Facebook page. If you guys know my Facebook page, I'll put the link down below. Click on it and go see what he's done. His paintings are awesome. He's actually immortalizing his kids in the most awesome way. So I'm really proud of that. Okay, I don't want to leave you guys without a question and without just a little bit of information that I've been researching. Okay, so one thing I've learned by researching the internet is that You know, people think that middle-aged people who are not married are stigmatized uh, by being single. Based on the research I did, the stigma is more harsh on people between the ages of 25 and 35 who are not married or have never been married or are single. They have more pressure on them to get married. Once you become a middle-aged person, then you seem to accept, which I know me, you accept being single. Also, there's a belief that all single people, all single women, men, whatever, tend to be introverts. Now, that I kind of believe that to be a little bit true because I do consider myself a little introverted, but as I grow older, I'm kind of getting out of it. I'm a little bit more assertive, a little bit more confident, and I know what I want. And I know how to get, accomplish things, even if it's like a long-term plan. I'll try my best to accomplish it that way. Set goals. So those are things that I I just been researching. So I don't think the stigmas out there are true. One thing I heard out of somebody's mouth was that being single and 50, people tend to think that because you're single or you've never been married, that you're gay. I don't know why that would be, an automatic thought in anybody's mind. Society has almost mandated that you couple up. And I truly believe that some people are born to be single. Excuse me, you guys. Excuse me. Yeah, I believe that some people are born to be single, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, what's wrong with that? Nothing. You got to do what makes you happy. Tell you guys about this date I went on. It was kind of a blind date, and I'm going to tell you more about that later because we're going to get into a lot of things here. I went on this date. Okay, so me and the gentleman, we chose to meet up at a restaurant. Okay, he had, we had been talking or whatever on the phone, and he sent me a picture of himself, which was, the picture, he looked okay, a musician. Anyway, so we met up at the restaurant, and, first of all, when you have a GPS, and I am not judging, but I'm just saying, when your phone has a GPS, then you really shouldn't get lost. I mean, unless unless your GPS gives you the wrong directions. Okay, so anyway, he showed up a little late, which was okay. I do that sometimes too, so I wasn't really too angry. He wasn't frustrated. It didn't bother me one way or another. But when we get to the restaurant, we get the menu. We're sitting down talking, and I had noticed right away that he seemed to lack confidence. He didn't make decisions. And when I say that, I mean like this. I'm gonna give you an example. So we go in the restaurant, and it's gonna be about 15 minutes before we get seated. So when the guy asks, when the hostess asked, well, whose name should I put the reservation under? Whose name should I put the table under? He didn't say a word, so I said, well, just put it under my name, right? So then we're sitting there, and then he says, well, can I see a menu before we sit down? So he looks through the menu, and I'm looking, because if I'm going to go to a restaurant, I'm going to eat well. And when I say eat well, I don't mean eat a lot, but I'm going to eat what I want. So, we're looking through the menu, and I'm looking at the good stuff, And what was funny to me was that he actually was gonna order a potato. Honest to God, he was gonna order a potato, and I guess he was gonna stuff it. But I was like, okay, so well, if that's what you want, I was not planning on paying for his meal, and I wasn't going to ask him to pay for mine either. As a matter of fact, when I saw the choices he was making, I was thinking, okay, he might not be able to afford a whole meal right now. Now, he didn't look like he couldn't. Maybe he just didn't want to, or maybe he was full. I don't know. So then he thought about a soup or something. So he ended up getting salmon, and he took it home with him. But excuse me, I had to make all the decisions on where we were gonna go, what we were gonna do. And since it was our first time meeting, I told him, I said, look, I'm just meeting you, so I think we should have separate bills. You pay for your food, I'll pay for my food. He was very relieved, and that's why he got the salmon. And then he wanted to go to a movie, but I didn't want to sit in the dark with this guy. So I said, no, maybe we should just let's go walk on the pier. So he followed me to the pier, and we walked the pier, and and that was that. I didn't, there was no hugs and nothing like that. Trust me, there was no love connection. There was no chemistry. There was no sparks. The biggest turnoff to me was, first of all, his lack of confidence, which was very, very evident. And I just wasn't attracted to him. Just to put it truthfully, I just wasn't attracted to him. So, yeah, I did go on a date, but that was like about 2 weeks ago. I just wanted to share that though with you guys. Yeah. So when you guys go out on dates, if it's your first date with someone, what are your expectations? My expectations are, I don't mind you being a little late because I'm not the most timely person in the world. But I expect you to know how to get to where we're going. I do expect a certain level. I expect confidence. I love a confident man. Someone who's going to take the lead. I am not a feminist, so I like a strong man, And when I say strong, I mean somebody who has strength of character. And someone who can make decisions, even if it's a first date. Hey, it's okay you don't want to go to a movie. That's fine. Let's go do thus and so. But not, what you want to do? But what is there around here? That kind of stuff. That was like, nope. Okay. So, yeah. So anyway, you guys, thank you for, like I said, chiming in on the first video, the first episode. So as I said, the question for this video is, what are your expectations from a first date? As a single woman or a single person, we all, every now and then we do go on dates. So what are your expectations, and what is your idea of a fun first date? Okay, this is Jernigan 6, and I will see you on the next episode of 50 and Single. Peace.